Back up a little bit over this way. Okay. Do it. Oh! That was cool. This year there was a big gap in between tournaments. So between Clarks Hill and this event in Oklahoma, there's like 6 weeks. So in my mind, I was thinking I was gonna have this entire time off to kind of just reset. Hang out with kids, do my own thing, just kind of wake up late, just kind of get a rest for that last push in the end of the season. To be completely honest with you, March ended up being probably the busiest month of the year so far for me. We had the Red Crest Expo, Bassmaster Classic Expo. I put on my own fishing school, Brooksville, Florida. Thanks for everybody that came out, by the way. And then, of course, there's just keeping up with the kids. Just keeping up with them. Brev is racing dirt bikes this year, so that, you know, that's every week, every weekend type thing. So when I'm home, you know, it's a full-time job.
Put your helmet on, ride it to the truck. Your battery's fine. Go, Brooks! Go! Look at that attack position. Let's go! You're going fast. I mean, if it's fine, don't worry about it right now.
All right, we've been working on this jump all night. There's a tabletop, but it's pretty long one. I'd say 40, 50 foot. Sounds easy, but on 65 it's not that easy. So I hope Rev, hope he hits it this time. Let's see, here he comes, here he comes. Let's see if he hits it.
Good job, bro! Good job! That's it! That's what I'm talking about!
This sort of felt like the first tournament all over again. Never been to Lake Eufaula before. So I knew a little bit about it, but I'd never been there. And when you look at the schedule, when I looked at the schedule going into this season, there are 3 tournaments in particular that I knew I needed to capitalize on to have a good season. I can't explain that, but if you're a tournament fisherman, you know what I'm talking about. Sometimes there's just certain lakes at certain times of the year that you know are going to be your events. For me this year, those 3 events that I wanted to really capitalize on was Okeechobee, we dinged that one. Clarks Hill, swing and a miss. So I know, like, going into this one, I gotta try to, you know what I'm saying? I gotta try to get lined up to make up for Clarks Hill. Oh, rats. This morning I was feeling kind of intuitive. I don't know, is that the word you say? Kind of like, you know, like I walk on the court. If I was playing basketball, I'd walk out there with a crossover. I'd cross my guy up. I'm feeling pretty confident in my practice. I found this one little area in practice that I'm pretty sure is a shad spawn. And actually, instead of going to where I got the most bites, I went somewhere that I only got 1 bite in practice, but on this particular bank, I was getting a lot, I was catching a lot of shad in the middle of the day on my crankbait, which tells me there's a shad spawn going on.
On right here. They've got to be 14 inches. Pretty sure that one's not 14 inches. But I really felt like there's a shad spawn here. He's pretty close. He's pretty close, but he's not it. There he is. That one might be a keeper. Dude, I caught 3 in the first 30 minutes. I ain't had this happen all tournament, all practice. He might be a keeper. He's not big. I think he'll make 14 inches. 100% 14 inches. All right. Well, y'all might not appreciate it, but we're not coming in with a 0 because, boy, let me tell you, that is out there. All right, so this is it. You see what I'm talking about? Remember I was telling you there's a shad spawn here? This is why those fish are here. You can see there's shad. I just caught a shad on my crankbait. Just caught that, literally caught that on my crankbait. There's a shad spawn here. Throw that back in that corner again. It might be old bass hanging in there. What'll happen is the shad will try to spawn with your crankbait or your spinnerbait, whatever you're fishing. They'll try to spawn by bumping it and they hook themselves. Kind of dumb, huh? That's how you can tell. I don't physically see the shad like popping the surface or nothing. A lot of times you can see them popping the surface, but I'm not seeing that in this particular spot. But they are spawning. I think the target weight for me today is somewhere around 14 pounds. That would be great. We'll take 20, 25, 30. If I get 14 pounds or so. Jeez, look at that. 2 shad.
Hey, if you're looking to build out your tackle box, I got the perfect place for you. It's called shopkarls.com. It's an online tackle retailer. You can get all the lines, rods, reels, baits, all at shopkarls.com. Check it out. Never have to leave your house and get everything you need.
Not big, but he will make the show for certain. I wonder why they're not like 2-pounders here. Might be a little better one. That might be a little better one, I can't tell. He's a keeper, he's not big. That's a keeper. He's not big, but he will make the show for certain. This is pass number, oh God. Hooks in the hand, hooks in the hand. Okay. That's pass number 3. Made 3 passes on this same bank to get me 3 fish. So like, you know, worst case scenario, we could flip the rest of the day and I know I'm gonna catch 2 more bass if I flip the rest of the day. Pretty sure he'll make it. Pretty small one, but he makes it barely. He makes it, but he's barely a keeper. You'd think coming in here in this dirty water, you'd catch one bigger. For some reason, I can't tell you, I don't have a specific way to catch a bigger fish. Just when I set the hook, sometimes this is really, we're stressed out about this all the time, but this is really how it always works. When I set the hook, I don't know. People get mad because, like, you know, they talk about my videos where I set the hook and I'm like, giant. They have no idea. Like, you have the luxury of setting back, watching, waiting to see how big the fish is, and then deciding if it's big or not. When I set the hook, you don't even get to, when you're watching my videos, you don't get to feel what I feel. So if he feels big, when I set the hook, I'm gonna say giant. And then you get to sit back and watch and say, oh, that's not a big fish. Well, I guess not, Jerry. You had the luxury of waiting to see the fish after I set the hook and deciding then if it's big or not. I don't have that luxury. All I'm going off is what I feel on the end of my pole. Tournament anglers understand. Also, like, when you set the hook on a fish, in the event that it is a bigger one, you know, you realize how that one fish can rocket you up the standings tremendously. So you're just always just hopeful that when you set the hook, it's a big one, because you know how important that fish can be to your day, to your bag, to your tournament, to your year. So that's why you're like bigging.
In these tournaments, starting off good is always a confidence builder. Within 2 casts, I got my first bite. Now, it was not a keeper, but I got my first bite, and that made me feel real confident in the decision I was making. And it let me know that practice was not fake. A lot of times in these tournaments, your practice is fake. Leaving my shad spawn spot with 4 keepers, they're all small. I figured if I had 4 keepers, if I flipped the rest of the day, which is what I was mainly counting on, was the flipping bite. I was flipping docks, catching some of the fish that are spawning on docks. Some of them pre-spawn as well. I really felt like if I kept that in my hand, just kept flipping the docks with that gremlin, the rest of the day, I could get 2 to 3 quality bites. I could get 6 or 7. It's possible I could get 6 or 7, but I really feel confident that I could get 2 to 3 more quality bites. So that's what I decided to do for a little bit.
That sucked.
It hasn't been windy in practice at all. It's been dead slick calm. Matter of fact, dead slick and 80 degrees. Well, it turned off windy, and I wasn't as efficient fishing those docks. And I fished about 2 or 3 hours and only had a few bites. So I just kind of felt like it made more sense to look for more areas like what I started off on.
It's been warming up fast. It still feels cold though. Yeah, there's a big one. Yeah. close. Then he came off so easy. I'll need to recheck when I get into the launch. I don't know why they're so small today. Not really sure what's going on there. Big one, big one, big one. Big one. The wind is blowing today. It's just totally different conditions than practice. I caught most of my fish in practice. Matter of fact, I was even talking to John Cox about how we couldn't catch him cranking in practice because we both wanted to catch him cranking. And now they're starting to show up a little bit. Not gonna lie, guys, fishing got a little trash on me. It started off really good, and I lost a couple fish today. That last one that I lost was definitely a key fish that I know I need. But if I can get number 5 in here, it's 1 o'clock, and I'm still sitting on 4, and they're all small. Hopefully I can get rid of all of them. But if I can catch my 5th one in here, I'll probably stay in here all day. I'm not getting many bites flipping anyway. I knew I wasn't gonna get many bites flipping. So I was glad I could catch what I caught on crankbait and spinnerbait this morning. And I don't really have much else left to do, but if I can just soak it in here and get that 5th one, I'll probably just stay in this area the rest of the day. Big one. That's a big one. Thank God. Boy, he was barely hooked too. That's a big one.
Probably ended up being the best decision I made all day. I caught one of my better keepers there. Of course, per usual, I lost a couple too. But I like the way this thing's set up. And I feel like I kind of got there late because it's like towards the end of the day when I get to this secondary point place, and caught 2 or 3 keepers, culled up a couple times, caught my biggest fish of the day, and it just felt right. So tomorrow I'm gonna start right here on this spot. Tomorrow I'm gonna start on that spot. I knew that was a place that I just felt like I was gonna start the next day. because it had all the ingredients. How did I feel going in the weigh-in? To be honest, not that good. I didn't feel that good about the weigh-in. Man, I'm not sure how I feel about this. I got my limit and I caught a lot of fish today. For some reason, I just never could get the right size. Really all I got to do is weigh them and I think I should have kept cranking. I spent about 3 hours doing stuff that wasn't cranking. Boat number 80. I set y'all right there. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. See you in the morning. It was windy today. All practice, it's pretty calm, and I think things changed up a little bit. I was really planning to catch a lot of fish flipping today. Just what I call washing, just washing my crawl down these like flat rocks. That did not work out. I think maybe the wind changed that, but I ended up catching everything on a shad spawn on my crankbait, cranking rocks. And it really didn't hit me to probably 1 o'clock. Like, bro, you probably can just keep doing that and catch what you need to catch. So about 1 o'clock, I started doing it. Yo! I did feel like, I feel like this tournament is one that you probably can come back in. I felt like it's one that if you stumbled a little bit on day one, you could catch them on day two. The reason I felt like that is because I knew that so many people were fishing on top of people. Top of one another. Secondly, I know some guys are catching them sight fishing.
We got Mr. Blat, Brian Latimer from Belton, South Carolina. 5 fish in the bag, looking good there, sir. How about 10 pounds and 12 ounces? 10, 12 for, let me make sure, yep, 10, 12.
I learned some things that I wasn't doing in practice. So I was not fishing a shad spawn in practice. And I also felt like the weights were going to drop, and I'm starting to learn more the more I fish. I felt like if things went right, a 16 to 17 pound bag is definitely within reason. So even though it was a little funky, I wasn't discouraged. I didn't feel like I was out of it.